You still love them, don't you? You still care. You still have feelings. You still think about them. You still think, man, what could it have been? And I want to say that is okay. It's perfectly okay. I don't know why people try to rush other people into getting over somebody. Like, give people time to feel their emotions and to understand what it is that they feel. And I also want to say that if you do decide to go back and to be with that person, that's also okay. And you have to like not care about what anybody say about the decisions that you make for your life if you feel like that is what's best. You know, sometimes as single women, we get a lot of bad rap. You know, we already have this stigma of being a single mom. And then on top of that, we have to deal with everything that comes with it. Like, it's almost like single mothers are hated. I don't understand how the world hates the one that stays. I don't understand how the world hates the one that picks up the responsibility and keep it pushing and keep it moving. But the one that gets to walk away is the one that's innocent. That's the one that's praised. That's the one that people love. It doesn't make sense to me. But that's America. That's the world that we live in. But today, sis, I want to talk to you about how to get over your baby daddy or child's father or whatever you say. I don't like saying baby daddy because I think it sounds ghetto, but it is what it is. I got two of them either way. So I know a thing or two. You know, I don't know everything, but I do know a thing or two. And I would like to share with you what it is that I know. Okay, so first of all, let me just say this, because I want to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you as a woman. And the first thing that I want to say is thank you for choosing your child. Thank you for choosing to be a mother. Thank you for getting up every day and handling your business and handling your responsibilities. If nobody else tells you that they're grateful and they're thankful for what you're doing, I want to tell you that, because your kids may be too young to voice it. They may be too young to understand what's going on. But when those kids get older and they understand the sacrifice that you took for them, they're going to appreciate it beyond words, and they're going to honor you for that. So I just want to say thank you for being a woman. Thank you for standing on business. Thank you for making things happen and doing what you have to do, regardless of who wants to make you the villain, regardless of what people say about you. At the end of the day, you put on your big girl drawers and you did what you had to do, regardless of who was going to help or not. You did that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sparing a life. Thank you for keeping a life. Thank you for choosing to be a mother. You know, thank you for not spitting back in God's face like many people do when they go and they get, abortions. And I'm not judging anybody, but at the end of the day, there is something to be said about a woman who decides to be a mother regardless of the situations. I always say, if you're bold enough, you're grown enough to lay down, then you're bold enough to take care of the responsibility. It is what it is. All right. I wanted to get that out the way. So let's talk about how to move on from your baby daddy. My baby daddy, who that is on the phone? My baby daddy, who? Okay. So the first thing I want to say is, sis, you got to accept the situation. You have to accept the situation for what it is. This is one of the most hardest things to do. Let me tell you something. I went through the 5 stages of grief. I went through the 5 stages of grief when me and my child's father split. You know why? Because I was hurt. I was angry. I was sad. I was depressed. I was in disbelief. I went through all 5 stages because I felt let down. And I want to let you know that it's okay for you to be angry, that it's okay for you to hurt. It's okay for you to feel. You have to feel in order to move on. Do you know how it feels to know, okay, I just created a life with somebody and this person is choosing not to even be here in this child's life, but I have to do this alone. Do you know how it feels to know, man, I partook in creating a broken family? It does not feel good. And sometimes as women, we have a hard time holding on because we don't want to let go of this fairy tale that we've created in our head of being the perfect husband and wife and having a family and us being together. And the reality is you're not having a hard time letting him go. You're having a hard time letting that reality go of what you thought it would be. See, listen, a lot of women stay in these relationships with their baby father because they think that man is saving them from being a single mother, because they don't want to have to face what a lot of single mothers face. But what they don't understand is you're still a single mother. The man is just there. He's not saving you from anything. And it's so sad because A lot of women even know that if they stop dealing with their baby father, that he would literally walk out of that child's life and that child would have no father. And you shouldn't have to have a relationship on a basis like that with somebody. You just shouldn't, because you love your child. You're there for your child. You show up for your child. You raise your child. So why does his love have to be so conditional? If you don't love my child, then you can go. But I'm not going to force myself in a relationship to be happy with somebody I'm completely miserable with, because I don't want you to walk out of my child's life. And no, it's not fair. But if you don't value my child the way that I value my child, I don't want you around him anyways, because who knows how you truly feel, or who knows what you would do when I'm not looking. So the second way to get over your baby daddy is you have to create boundaries, sis. You can't keep doing the back and forth. You can't keep doing the we're together, we're broken up, we're together, we're broken up. You have to create clear boundaries. What is it going to be? Are you guys going to strictly co-parent, or are y'all going to be sleeping together? Are y'all going to strictly co-parent, or are y'all going to be sleeping around behind closed doors? Y'all going to be sneaking around? Like, you have to choose what it is that you want at the end of the day. Either you're going to be with this man, or either y'all not going to be together. Let me tell you why it's dangerous to play this game of we're together, we're not together. Because one, you're stealing time from yourself. So that time that you could spend healing, so that you could find the man that's for you, you're giving it away by staying in this toxic cycle. And I know a lot of women glorify staying in toxic cycles. Like, they glorify things like calling the police, pressing charges, but then the next day they picking them up and going out to eat like nothing happened. That's toxic, sis. Your life is supposed to move in seasons and not cycles. When you get caught in a cycle, it's like a revolving door. Nothing changes. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And the longer you stay, the worse it gets. It don't get better, because nobody has the tools to build a healthy relationship. Once you build a relationship on a faulty foundation, on a toxic foundation, it's very, very hard to build that on a healthy foundation. So you have to have boundaries in place so that nobody's confused about what's going on. So it's either we're going to co-parent or we're going to be together. But what you're not going to be doing is dipping in my bed, coming over here playing family, playing house, and then you got a girlfriend in the background and you doing whatever you want to do. No, because you think I'm your baby mother, you think that you're entitled to me. Let me just say this. You are not entitled to me just because I am your baby mother. I do not care. The only entitlement that you have to me is that child of ours, because that's the one thing that we have in common. So you have to set boundaries and limit it to the child. If it's not about the child, don't call me. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about the past. I don't want to keep talking about what went wrong, what we could have done right. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in co-parenting. And most of the time as women, men, they don't care. If they can get away with sleeping with you and whatever, they will. So you as the woman, you have to hold that standard. You have to hold that boundary. You have to stand your ground on what it is. You have to put those limits in place. No, we're not doing this. No, you can't have access to me in the way that you had access to me before, because we're not on that level anymore. If it's not about the child, don't call me. I'm not interested. I'm not playing this game with you. If we're going to be a family, we're going to be a family. But if we're done, then we're done, and things need to be ran strictly limited to the child. Conversations need to be about the child. Money needs to be for the child. When he come around, it need to be about the child. Even if you have to meet him at a public place so that he don't try to ease in your bed, that's okay too. But like I said, just because I'm your baby mama, it doesn't mean that you are entitled to me or my body. Absolutely not. You have to establish those boundaries. And it's scary to establish those boundaries, because once you do, you're going to realize how a lot of them really feel about you and your child. And I hate to be the one to say it, but a lot of them don't want nothing to do with you after when you really stand on your boundaries and you're serious about not doing the back and forth sleeping around thing, and you're strong on it, you standing on it. Oh, they're gonna flee. Most of them do. I hope to God they don't, because I want them to be great fathers, and I want them to be in their child's life, because that child deserves to have a father. But the reality of it is most of these men are not built to be fathers. They are males with penises, and they know how to use them, but no one has ever taught them how to actually be a father and to raise a child. Anybody can lay down and have a child. You just got to have the right body parts, but it takes a man to raise his child. It takes a father. You know, not everybody is a father. Not everybody is a father. All right. So after you accepting how you feel about it, going through your phases, your grieving phases, mad, angry, sad, depressed, after you go through your phases and after you set your boundaries, the next thing you have to do is focus on you. You got to focus on your self-love journey. You got to focus on you healing, right? Because your kids need you and they need the best version of who you are. They need the best version of their mother. If you're not well, they're not going to be well. If you're not happy, they're not going to be happy. They're watching that. So your well-being matters. Get up and do something with yourself. Go work out. Go shopping. Go put some makeup on. Spend some time with yourself. Journal. Do whatever it is that you have to do to get back in touch with who you are as a woman. But it's time for you to start taking you serious. All that time, effort, and energy that you kept putting into a man, put it into yourself because you deserve it just as much. And I know a lot of us, a lot of us are lazy, like me. Baby, if I ain't got to get up, put no clothes on and do my hair, I'm not. But I'm learning how to love me better. And the more that I'm learning how to love me, the more that I want to do for myself. I told y'all I'm embarking on this weight loss journey. After, this baby, after I dropped this baby, I'm working on this weight loss journey. I want to do that for myself because I am my greatest investment. And there's a particular vision that I have of my body that I want it to look like. Okay? Because I want to like the way I look. I want to like the way I feel. Okay? Period. So, sis, you got to learn how to invest and pour into you. If you've never learned what it means to love you, now is the time for you to be learning because it is a journey. It is a process. And let me just say this. You're going to be so mad at yourself for some of the things that you accepted. For some of the things you accepted, you're going to be so mad at yourself when you finally come into the knowledge of what true love is. But that's okay because we all had to go through that process. We all had to go through that journey. All right? So the next thing I want to say is you got to forgive and let go. Forgive him, the situation, how it turned out, what he did to you. You have to forgive and let go. Forgiving does not mean that that person gets away with what they did to you. Forgiving just means that you release yourself of the burden of what they did to you, that you're not constantly replaying it in your head, that it doesn't have you stuck, that every time you think about it, you're not going back to the past, you're not being triggered. Once you forgive, forgiving is so powerful. And sometimes it's a daily thing. Sometimes when you think about some of the stuff they do to you or done to you, you just have to say, I forgive. In this moment, I choose to forgive. Even if I don't feel like it, in this moment, I choose to forgive. Because what's not going to happen is you're not going to keep me in prison mentally and emotionally, even though you're not here physically. You might as well be here. And a lot of us, we are in prisons mentally and emotionally, even though you're no longer with that man. You're still with him mentally. You're still with him emotionally. You're still with him spiritually because you have not forgiven and you have not let go. And a part of healing is forgiving and letting go, forgiving them and forgiving yourself. Forgiving them and forgiving you for what you didn't know. So you got to forgive and let go. The next thing I would say is set new goals. You got to get new goals. All right. So you got to get a new vision for your life. How does that vision look now with just you and your kids? Because before it was a vision with you, him, and the kids. But how would your life look now with just you and your kids? What do you want now out of life with just you and your kids? Do you still want to get married? Do you want to have more kids? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to lose weight? What is it that you want out of life now? What is your new vision for yourself? You have to have a vision because your vision is what gives you direction. Your vision is what gives you energy. Your vision is what helps you to break down your goals on what you should be working on every single day, which is important because if you don't have goals, you get stuck in life and you feel like your life is going nowhere. That's how you get caught in cycles instead of seasons. And let me tell you this, once you get a purpose, you ain't really got time to play. There's a lot of things that I have that I want to do for myself as a woman, and I don't have time to be stuck in toxic situationships and toxic relationships. So even getting a vision will help you to filter out the men and women that you bring in your life. So you got to get some new goals, boo. And the last thing, and not least, you got to lean into your faith. You have to lean into your faith. Me leaning into my faith helped me a lot with getting over the situations with my child's father. It helped me a lot. God helped me to forgive them. And he helped me to forgive myself. And he showed me where I went wrong. And I leaned into God to get my strength back. I leaned into God to get my confidence back. I leaned into God to get my value, because a lot of people will tell you after you have kids, your value goes down as a woman. But how many of you know that the devil is a liar, and that your value doesn't come from this world, and that your value doesn't come from a man, but your value comes from God, and he determines your worth, and it's settled. It's nothing to debate about. All you have to do is accept it, believe it, and walk in it. That's that. So when you build your spirituality, you get strength. You get strength to get out of the bed. When you want to lay in the bed and curl up and cry and want to be in depression, you get strength, okay? When you want to be anxious about your future because you don't know what tomorrow is going to look like, God gives you strength. Your faith gives you strength. It gives you the hope you need. It gives you the strength you need to keep going, to keep pushing. You got to have something that you lean into other than yourself. So get some type of spirituality. I don't know. For me, that's Jesus Christ. I don't know what that is for you, but that's my rock. That's my anchor. That's who holds me up. That's who keeps me. You know, that's who don't allow for my faith to dwindle. Like, I still believe that I'm gonna get married one day. I still believe that I'm gonna have a good husband. I don't believe that this is the end for me. I do believe that good men are still out there. I sure do. But who gives me that hope? Christ. It don't come from the world, because the world will tell you something different. So you have to have a foundation on which you stand on that you can't be shaken, right? So when you have this foundation, you don't believe in things like, well, I need him to survive. And if I don't have him, I don't survive, because you understand that God is your provider. You understand that God is your protector. You understand that God is your leader, that he's the one that loves you, that he's the one that cares about you, that he holds your future in his hands, and that it's not attached to anybody who chooses to walk away. And breaking up can be hard. It's a hard process. You go through heartbreak, you're angry, you have all of these different emotions, because it's not what you wanted for yourself. You didn't choose this. You didn't go into this saying, I want to be a single mother. You didn't ask for this. I didn't. But that's okay, because one thing about God is he knows how to turn a mess into a message, and he knows how to turn you into a masterpiece. You know why? Because broken crayons still color. So the fact that you're still alive, it means that you have life left into you. That means that your life is not done living. You didn't mess it up. You didn't ruin your life. God still has a plan for you. His purpose still stands. You're still loved. You're still anointed. You're still chosen. You're still cared about. And you're the best mother those kids has ever had and will ever have. So if you don't have the strength to do it for you, do it for them, because they need you. So sis, whatever you got to do to heal, heal. Whatever you got to do to grow, grow. But I'm just here today to let you know that you're not alone in this process. You're not alone in this journey. There's so many of us mamas out here that's just like you, if you are a single mom. You know, and if you're not married, you still consider a single mom. That's okay. But I just want you to know that it does get better, and that all hope is not lost, and that you didn't ruin your life. You didn't destroy it. There's still hope for you. I just really want you to lock in on your faith. I want you to lock in on loving yourself, and I want you to lock in on getting a new vision for your life, because that's what's going to help you move forward and to get unstuck. All right. Well, I don't want this video to be too long, sis, because you know your girl can talk. But if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. And I would like for you to share, to like, and to even comment if this video has blessed you in any way. And I'll see you in the next video.